You find yourself lost in Irvingland. It was a very good year for sales of that particular model of spaceship. It seemed every grizzled old captain in the universe wanted one. The noise has awakened this one, and he starts yelling for his first mate, Fader.
Where are you, you worthless jellyfish, you spineless space worm?
Oh, there you are.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. You rang for me, sir?
I'm sure you rang because my ears are still ringing. That's no Fader, that's Artie Johnson. He had been a regular on the surprise hit of the decade, Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In, for about a year and was well known as a result. He did a fair number of little side projects like this during the show's run, and his German soldier, the one who would peer through the bushes and say, "Very interesting," even showed up on an episode of Sesame Street. He did numerous bit parts after that, recorded some audiobooks, did several short films, even tried his hand at hosting a game show, but he never reached the pinnacle that he had with Laugh-In. That's the hazard of peaking too soon. Still, by all accounts, he was happy. He beat cancer once, but by the time it returned, he was 90 years old and his body didn't have the wherewithal to continue. But he had a good life, and we remember him fondly for all those delightful characters he created that remain relevant and enjoyable right up to today.
What's going on down there?
It's the crew, sir. They're talking mutiny again.
Oh, they are they? I'll make them walk the gangplank. They'll dance from the yardarm.
Neither of which you have since you're a spaceship. And by the way, you might want to look up the word gangplank because I don't think it means what you think it means.
Captain, no, we'd never get home without them.
Oh, but they can't get back to Beta 3 without me either. I'm still captain of this spacecraft. Besides, we're on our way home, aren't we?
Yes, Captain, but 5 years in space has simply been too long. And you never did find the prize like you promised them you would.
He tries to strong-arm the crew, but I have a feeling their arms are stronger than his.
Quick, Captain, your cutlass.
Well, that won't do any good. I can't reduce them to tape. That only works on humans. Oh, but there's the electronic spear. I'll show them. You cowardly machine!
He calls it an electronic spear, but the technical scientific term is cattle prod. It drives them back, and you heard him say something about his cutlass can reduce humans to tape. It was clear enough that I finally caught it the third time I watched it for this review.
It's a bell ringing.
The telescope. It's ringing. 5 years of searching for this thing. 5 years of pointing it at human beings down there on Earth. 5 years, and it never rang once.
That planet we're passing is uninhabited, isn't it? There are no Earth people down there, particularly the one special person we've been looking for.
So that's what all those abductions were about. Who are they looking for? Because I think we can all tell him who he'll find down there.
Well, did you ever dream that you were really somebody else?
What?
That maybe your own mother and father weren't your real mother and father?
Sure. I'm the President of the United States, you know. Come on, I'll race you to that rock, and I'll just use one foot.
No, like in some of these stories. Because, well, last night I had the funniest dream about the most beautiful palace.
Girls.
Just remember, she has the same opinion of boys, and you're both right. If the shoe fits, it's on sale today for only $19.95 while supplies last.
Well, try on the shoes. All right, hop aboard the carpet. Lively now. You want to be a princess or don't you?
If your goal was to scare the liver out of her, you succeeded admirably. If not, then you did something wrong. Will runs to see what's wrong. I don't think the shoes will fit him, and he doesn't wear open-toed shoes anyway. His toes are badly deformed due to an early childhood case of polio.
Captain, hadn't you better take it somewhere else for unwrapping?
Good thinking. Now, don't you worry, my dear. You're safe.
We saw that his crew are all the cube model of our robot, but they seem to have independent minds of their own, as we saw when they tried to mutiny. Even the automatic pilot on the ship is a separate entity that sometimes doesn't appreciate what the captain does to it. So there's a chance they might have unfriendly designs on both the captain and his newly arrived guest.
Princess?
How did you get in there? Who are you?
Well, I don't know.
Oh, dear, what are we going to do now? If the crew sees you only caught a boy...
Maybe if you put the shoes on him, you can fool them.
Shut up! This is your fault, Fader.
Hey, wait a minute.
I should have gone on that shore party myself instead of just sending my voice.
Captain, please, not so loud.
I've listened to your chicken advice for the last time.
Now, cut that out. It's not his fault I'm a boy. And besides, if you are a captain, that's sure no way to act.
He doesn't care if you are 6'5" and built like a tank. Will doesn't take that kind of behavior from anybody. Shape up, sailor. Explain yourself at once.
We're from the planet Beta. And for a very long time, we've been looking, everybody's been looking for our princess. Princess Alpha.
Well, is she lost or something?
There was trouble. A threatened revolution by the machines. But a nurse escaped with the baby princess to hide her on Earth.
All right, that's enough.
Yes.
He says the story is that the nurse switched her with an Earth baby so she'd be safe. They've been searching for her ever since, and that singing telescope that he has is supposed to point the way to her.
You know, that's just like the dream that my sister had.
Quiet. You're what?
Well, this person I know had a dream. Didn't think I'd be in it.
That was a mistake. He starts pumping Will for information about the other Earth people down there, in particular a girl of about 13. Will tries to lie, but he's just so bad at it. The captain says, we'll head down there and find out for ourselves.
Well, where are they?
But it's true, I tell you. I saw the slippers right there.
Yes, indeed, a mirage, perhaps.
Penny, next time tell a grown-up. In typical fashion, despite everything he's seen and experienced out here, he'll write the whole thing off as a fantasy inspired by her fairy tale book.
What's that?
I don't know. Penny, come along.
Robot, why doesn't he believe me?
I compute that you are telling the truth, Penny.
Thanks.
He doesn't believe you because he's afraid if it's true, he might have to do something. Something responsible, even. Good heavens, it's a human person! I'm terrified of those creatures! Captain Craspo makes a few vague remarks, then his telescope starts ringing.
So if you'll excuse me.
Somewhere around here. Somewhere close. Oh, this way.
For a ship's captain, you have the manners of a hyperactive 5-year-old. He's not a criminal or anything like that. He doesn't really even qualify as a monster of the week. He's a guy who's trying to serve his people, but like every other alien in the Irwin Allen universe, he's a pompous jerk. He assumes he's above everybody else and treats them all like underlings. Right now, back on his ship, he's holding Will as a hostage and making him scrub the decks. And really, based on what Irwin Allen told us, half the aliens out there want to conquer and destroy us, and the other half want to make us into pets. We probably don't want to go out there because everybody else in the known universe is a royal or chat.
It's a mistake. Feder was right. The whole thing is a mistake. All those years of searching, and this blasted thing doesn't even work.
Did you keep the receipt? 5 years he followed that thing and it led him to a robot. All he can do is cry.
Excuse me, sir, what's the matter?
Oh, Your Majesty.
That's called kidnapping, my man. In most parts of the universe, it's a crime. The robot is immobilized and Penny is somewhere else. Smith, of course, starts protesting and making demands, but Captain Craspo doesn't have time for that nonsense.
Away from me! Wait, don't kill him!
Oh, let go of me, laddie.
Dr. Smith? Where's Dr. Smith? What have you done to him?
Now, I only reduced him to tape, that's all.
What?
There we are. That's him.
I have to admit, he looks and sounds better than we've ever known him. The captain said he figured the princess would like a little quiet, but he was mistaken. We all would. Will isn't sure he believes it until Fader tells him people on Beta learned how to do that a long time ago. It makes travel quicker and easier. That was the idea. Naturally, there's always some self-important bully like the captain who's only too willing to abuse it and weaponize it. But Fader also tells him it's easy enough to restore Dr. Smith. He's happy to do so, especially once Will explains that Penny isn't this princess they're after. He can't do it right now. The captain is bellowing.
Just because I dreamed I was a princess doesn't mean that I...
Never mind. You were born in a hospital, weren't you?
Well, you don't need to shout at me.
Yeah, just like 100 million other babies of the time. Our captain isn't too bright to begin with, but that's a stupid question even for him.
And you're the right age, aren't you? And my telescope tinkled, didn't it?
Captain Craspo, if you can't be more polite, I'm not going to answer any more of your questions.
Oh, there. Isn't she beautiful? Did you ever in your life see anybody who acted more like a lady? Like a princess?
Did you ever in your life see someone more patronizing? Tell him you are the princess, and then tell him to go clap himself in irons for being rude. Let's see how loyal he really is.
Won't you sit down? Please sit down.
No, thank you. I wouldn't like to stand.
Well, I think you'll find the sofa most comfortable.
All right.
They're on camera. He's transmitting all this back to his home planet, and he's really putting on a show. He wants her to do that so he can do a Princess and the Pea thing with her. How people on his planet know that story, we don't ask because the answer might tend to induce headaches. The sofa is lumpy and uncomfortable. He pulls out a little pebble and announces that this proves she's the princess. Things start happening on the ship, so he has to turn the camera off.
What is going on?
Not a thing, my dear. Not a thing.
Yeah, by the way, he's a fraud and a swindler. No wonder he got rid of Smith. Nobody likes competition. Penny says, I'm not really interested in being an actual princess. I'd rather be with my family.
Beta is a beautiful planet. All it needs is a princess on the throne to make it like heaven.
You mean they need a queen?
There's nobody left in the royal family but an old dowager aunt, and she just hasn't got the power anymore.
Power?
To make the royal scepter work, to protect the people, to keep down the evil machines.
This whole thing is going to get really complicated. They have machines on their planet, much like the ones on this ship. They're sentient, and overall, they're not crazy about us meat critters. The Beta royal family has this magic scepter, yes, they call it magic, that keeps the machines under control. Only a member of the royal family has the power to operate it, which is why they're so desperate to find the princess. Without her, the machines stand a good chance of taking over. Here's how it works. The scepter wraps itself around the extended part of the machine like so, and then it goes like this. Magic! And Fader just got the word the Dowager Aunt is on her way here to examine Penny for herself. Craspo starts trying to give Penny a crash course in her early childhood as a Betan because he knows she's not the real thing.
Be careful, you're crumpling him.
Now you stay out of this, laddie. I need Dr. Smith worse than you do. The princess needs him. She'll need him when she's queen. The queen has the power to appoint the royal chancellor, or even a prime minister.
What are you talking about?
Here he comes.
I'm a little fuzzy on why he thinks he needs Smith, but let's get him restored and then sort it out.
William, where am I? What happened to me?
I'll explain later, Your Excellency.
Excellency? Ah, yes, of course. Excellency, it appears to me that I did hear that there was a vacancy in the Prime Ministry.
Dr. Smith, don't listen to him. You've got to save us. You've got to save Penny.
Please, William, not now. Not now.
Forget it, Will. He's discovered there's something in it for him, so from now on his answer will be, Penny who? And you forgot to call me Excellency. On the planet, they're frantic. Nobody can find the kids or the robot.
Oh, it's you, Smith. Where did the kids go? I can't even find the robot.
Yes, of course. Would you excuse me? I'm in rather a hurry.
Wait a minute. What's this?
Dr. Smith, what are you doing with this picture?
Belongs on Marine's bureau.
Well, of course it does. It's Penny at the age of 6 weeks. The old aunt will be most interested.
As we know, he couldn't care less about Penny or Will or anyone else but himself. He's perfectly happy to condemn both kids to a life among strangers, away from everything they ever knew, so he can be a big shot. I know it never happened, but pretty much every week I find myself begging our producers to please kill him off. The character has reached a point of being a detriment to the show, and some things I've found suggest that focusing too much on him was what started killing the ratings and ultimately led to the show being canceled. The problem is the character never grows. We've seen Will grow from the naive kid who believes the best about everybody to a cynical preteen who's just as disgusted by Smith's selfish antics as the rest of us are. It's been a tight squeeze, but we've watched John and Maureen figuring out how to parent their children in the face of a situation like this. We've watched them make mistakes and have to own them and become better parents for it. Dr. Smith can't do any of that because the moment he becomes a little more human, we've lost the character. Some commenters asked me about the tender moment between him and Dawn in episode 5, The Space Primevals. And I might have focused on it a little bit more if it had had any lasting effect. It didn't. That's been a problem throughout the show's run because Smith will have his moment of truth, and the following episode it never happened, and he's just as evil and vile as he was before that moment. That was why I quit focusing on such things. They're meaningless.
What are you talking about? And Penny's baby hair. And Mother's old diary.
Give these things back. People on Beta are much smarter than we are, don't you understand? Penny's memory will be tested.
Smith, you're out of your mind again. You'd better start
I thought you'd need some help, matey.
You guys don't understand. This is all about Zachary Smith getting to be rich and famous somewhere. Isn't that worth the sacrifice of a couple of measly children? And the headache Dawn is going to have?
It's all right, Judy. Not to worry.
I'm sorry, miss. He'll only be unconscious 3 or 4 hours. That's all the time we'll need. Now, tell me quick. Are you a good hairdresser?
What? Who are you? Dr. Smith!
Judy, please. We all want to be saved, don't we? Wouldn't you like to be a countess?
You already know the answer, Smith, but you don't care, do you? Next thing we know, the captain is showing Penny a couple of strips of tape, Judy and Dawn. He'll keep her under control by constantly threatening to burn them.
You want me to pretend I'm a princess, don't you? You want me to fool that poor old woman who's coming, just so you can win your dirty old prize.
There's more to be won than that, Penny dear, much more. For all of us.
Especially for me. Who cares what kind of bind it puts you in when you don't have any magic to operate that scepter? I get to be important. That's what's important, as we all know. He's in charge of trying to make her into a princess, so he's focusing on all the important details.
4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and oh no, Penny, this is so important. Don't you realize that?
I'm sure good posture has everything to do with operating the royal scepter.
That this will be my most important creation.
Very well, but be careful of those pins, Maestro, or you will create a sieve.
And of course the scepter won't work unless the robot is properly dressed. What we're seeing here is Zachary Smith in a nutshell, all fluff and no substance.
All right, Your Highness. Now, the royal throne will be over there.
Over there.
Yes, the throne. Now, when you walk through the door, I will give the order for the drums to roll. Then, you will take a step and wait. A step and wait. A step and wait.
I think I see why the machines are taking over. They're so hung up on ceremony and appearance that nothing of consequence ever gets done.
The beets in Beta boil better on a burner. The beets in Beta boil better on a burner. The beets in Beta boil better on a burner. The beets in Beta boil better.
Stop it! Stop it! Oh, I can't do it! I can't! Oh, I'm sorry, Captain Crystal.
Instead of the beets, we need to boil these two-legged lumps of dung. It takes a special kind of evil to do this sort of thing to a child, but in true Lost in Space fashion, they'll both get away with no consequences. It's time for Aunt Gammy to arrive.
Isn't there anyone around here who can control those beastly machines?
I beg your pardon, ma'am. What did you say?
I said, isn't there anyone around here who can control those beastly machines?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Shut up! Stop that music, you bastard! Oh, pardon me, ma'am.
She's not interested in all the ceremony and crap, which means I like her already. She wants to see the girl, like, right now.
Your Majesty, the captain asked me to prepare a bill of particulars, the girl's credentials.
That can wait. May I present myself, Your Majesty?
I believe she already indicated that she's not here to see you, she's here to see the girl. Might be a good idea to shut up and oblige her.
I am Dr. Zachary Smith, longtime friend, protector, and guardian of the lovely child. I'm sure you must have heard of me. And may I say that I have always had an instinctive feeling that there was some mystery about her, some glorious secret of her origin.
You may say it, Dr. Smith, but it won't do any good.
But as we know, shut up isn't in Smith's vocabulary. The good news is she already sees right through him, which makes me like her even more.
Thank you. Really?
That reminds me of something. Oh, what was it? Oh yeah, another jackass who thinks he's more important than everybody else.
Oh, my.
Wow. Is that really you, Penny?
Hush, will you?
Stand up, child.
She looks elegant and regal, and that ain't our Penny. Try to picture that girl wandering through an area picking wildflowers, or helping her mom cook, or playing outside with Will, or befriending someone like Mr. Nobody or J5. I doubt she'd be allowed to do any of that.
She's so beautiful, I think I'm going to cry. Your Majesty, may I present this lovely child, whom I have had the honor to know thus far as Miss Penny Robinson.
Oh, shut up!
I liked her already, but now I think I may be in love. She chases everybody out so she and the girl can talk in peace. Penny is doing her best.
They did show me some pictures of the royal family. And it did seem that some faces were rather familiar. For instance, do you have a cousin named,
Oh, stop that, child.
She knows. This lady is no fool, and she's nowhere near as gullible as the captain thinks she is. In fact, I'd say she's at least an order of magnitude smarter than he is.
Do you know how long I've been searching for my niece?
All I was told was that Princess Alpha was hidden someplace on Earth by a nurse years ago. Captain Krasbo said the nurse sent a message back. K12B6 or something like that.
They assume it was garbled and didn't mean anything, which is a really bad move on their part. Needless to say, it's an obvious code for something.
It says on that paper that awful Krasbo has been trying to cheat. He's been teaching you to lie to me.
What? Well, you see, ma'am...
No, never mind.
She won't give Penny a chance to explain about the threat to Dawn. She just says, "Tell me, are you my niece or aren't you?"
Oh, I don't know. Oh, I hate myself.
Well, of course you don't know. Oh, that's just the right answer, Alpha dear.
I guess Batman logic permeates the entire sentient universe, because that's about as convoluted as anything we ever saw on that show. It would seem it's time for an announcement.
Captain Krasbo.
All present and accounted for, Your Majesty. You wish to make an announcement, I presume?
I do. Captain Krasbo, will you please be kind enough to put yourself in the brig?
That's not the announcement he was expecting.
To what?
And you, whoever you are...
Fedor, Your Majesty, ship steward 14th class.
You are the new acting captain here.
Aye, aye, ma'am.
You heard her, you conniving tyrant! Now hand me that tape!
He is a loyal subject, so he'll obey her orders. He'll also start planning to keelhaul Fader. I'm not sure how you do that on a spaceship, but he'll think of something. By now, the bunch of them have Penny so confused, she's decided maybe she really is Princess Alpha and she's not really Will's biological sister. Will isn't buying any of it and heads below.
I proclaim a holiday. Long live Princess Alpha.
You, sir, are dismissed.
Yes, Your Majesty. Yes.
Dreadful man. We'll have to dispose of him.
Oh, if I get divorced again, will you marry me? Will is upset with Fader because while he got rid of Craspo, it hasn't helped Penny's situation any. Fader says, just wait until the coronation and see how much I've helped. Will doesn't like any of this. He's going to hide in one of those big air things and try to sort it all out.
When Aunt Gamma hands that stupid little girl the scepter, I'll be there to grab it. Don't you worry. And when we have the scepter, Beta will be ours. At last, we will control the universe. Oh, how long I've waited for this glorious day. Mother, you've been making a coat for me.
Yes, he called that thing Mother.
It's very pretty. I like it very, very much. We'll show them, won't we?
Mainly because it is his mother. Will is gonna need help dealing with this.
Captain Craspo? Captain Craspo.
Oh, leave me alone.
Captain Craspo, you have to listen. Now, is it possible that a ship steward 14th class could be a machine, a computer, a spy, maybe?
You're against me. You're all against me. And after all those years of faithful searching,
Will tries to explain, but Craspo spent way too much money and effort setting up this pity party, and by golly, he's gonna enjoy it.
Captain Fedor! It's locked! He locked it!
Craspo is still at the pity party. Right now, he's playing pin the tail on my poor Whittle Fields.
And you're nothing but a dirty quitter. But I'll never be beaten because I'll never give up. I hate you.
There's something you never thought you'd hear Will Robinson say. I have a feeling he has never met anyone more deserving, but even so. And there hasn't been much opportunity to talk about the Will Robinson magic lately, but it's still fully functional.
Hey, laddie! Did I hear you say something about computers? Machines?
Fedor is one.
Well, get me out of here. Don't just stand there.
Yes, sir.
You mean you want me to stop feeling sorry for myself and do something? What an odd concept. Upstairs, Fader has just restored Dawn, and it's time for the coronation.
In the name of the good people of Beta, I will now command the royal scepter to appear. Are you ready to receive the symbol and instrument of your royal power, your majesty?
I guess so. I mean, yes.
Behold!
There it is. She hands it to Penny with great pomp and circumstance, and nothing happens. I thought Fader was going to grab it and order his machines to attack. Maybe he forgot?
Stop! All right, Fader, I'm on to you. Your hour has come.
Yes, Penny.
Captain Craspo, how dare you!
Arrest this man. Seize him. Hang him.
Oh, no, you don't. This is the real Cutlass this time, and this is an atomizer. And anybody moves gets erased.
Why, you traitorous barbarian!
And you, please shut up.
But before he can finish exposing Fader, something else starts happening.
The telescope, it was ringing.
Well, what of it? Let go of my arm.
It wasn't pointing at Penny. It was pointing at the robot.
Well, the crazy thing did that before. It's no good. Now let go of my arm.
Wait a minute, I've got an idea.
Attack! Up the machines! Down the people!
Correction, everything else starts happening. Needless to say, Penny is waving the scepter and nothing is happening because she's not the princess and she doesn't have any Planet Beta magic to operate it with. I hope Aunt Gammy is satisfied with that now. The robot is holding his own against the machines, but they're still coming. Dawn manages to disable the automatic pilot and get the ship under control, so now there's only 8,942 other issues to deal with and we can all go home.
Well, remember that garbled message the nurse sent years ago? That K12B6?
That's like the sequence we used to program the robot.
Now, suppose that nurse hid the baby princess and then reduced her to tape. Now, where would be the perfect place to hide the tape?
I get it. Now, what are those numbers, K12?
B6.
Got it.
K12 and B6 are both essential vitamins and part of a complete breakfast. The fact that the machines weren't afraid of Penny might have been your first clue.
It's all right, everyone. The real princess is here.
Oh, my dear, my darling. It's you, really you this time.
Aunt Gammy! Ah!
And of course, she's a dead ringer for Penny, except with about 10 times as much hair.
Oh, but here, you'd better take this. Thank you.
Point it at him. Hurry!
No, please!
All that's left is a computer card. Let's summarize. Many years before our expedition, this nurse just happened to hide the infant princess inside this particular robot, where as nothing more than a piece of magnetic tape, she grew into a preteen, acquired the right size clothes, learned to walk and talk, got her hair styled. Then that particular robot just happened to get drafted to be on the Jupiter 2, which just happened to get lost in this particular area where the captain just happened to be searching for the princess, who just happens to look exactly like Penny Robinson, who just happens to be fantasizing about being a princess at that particular moment. Could happen.
If you enjoyed this episode, click the like button and let us know. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell so you always know what is happening, because something is always happening here at Irving Zoo. We make sure of it. We control his computer. Until next time.
But Captain Crapo, yeah, boy, that was a Freudian slip. Episode 5, The Space Primevals. One word at a time, mouth.